So Nicki Minaj is being hit with a deportation petition, and the way we got here is crazy, all right? So look, man, the situation didn't come out of nowhere. There is a very specific moment that cracked this whole thing open. Now, Nicki Minaj had made a surprise appearance in Arizona at a major conservative gathering tied to Turning Point USA, the same organization that was founded by the late Charlie Kirk. Now, she was interviewed on stage by Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, and that appearance really sent shockwaves through both hip-hop, political parties, and her home fan base, the Barbs. Now, during that conversation, Nicki openly praised President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, calling them role models for young men. Now, she spoke about admiration, leadership, and said that his administration was full of people with heart and soul. She talked about how he was from Queens, like she was from Queens, and blah, blah, blah. Just all of this, admiration for Donald Trump, which is kind of confusing for a lot of people because Nicki Minaj has not always rocked with Trump, okay? In fact, back in 2018, which was not that long ago, she was publicly condemning his immigration policies, especially the zero tolerance policy that separated a whole bunch of kids from their families at the border. Y'all remember that? And she even shared her own story that she had came to the United States at 5 years old and once described herself as an illegal immigrant. Okay, now for a lot of longtime supporters, this moment in Arizona didn't feel like, she was growing in popularity. It just felt like it was a complete slap in the face. Like, what? What are you talking about, right? And it didn't really stop there, right? So on the same stage, Nicki mocked California Governor's Gavin Newsom, calling him New Scum, repeating a nickname that Trump himself used in the past for California's Democratic governor. And that jab made it crystal clear about which side Nicki is now politically aligning with. She's clearly on the Republican side and supporting Donald Trump 10 toes down. Now, even on the same stage, things kind of got a little uncomfortable for her. While trying to compliment J.D. Vance's political instincts, Nicki referred to him as an assassin. She immediately froze, realizing the word choice, and especially giving the context, Erica Kirk visibly reacted and the crowd, got a little uncomfortable, and Nicki covered her mouth, but, Erica brushed it off and defended her. But the clip, y'all know they clipped it and they spread it all over the internet. But, in today's internet climate, optics matter more than actual intent, you know what I mean? So now things get a little bit more wild, right? Down the line. Not long before this appearance, Nicki Minaj had shared a message from Trump regarding political sanctions against Nigeria, framing it around the prosecution of Christians. They had like a big, Muslim, Christian, northern, southern type of thing they had in Nigeria for many, many years. She said reading it made her feel grateful living in a country where people can worship freely, and that post led her to being invited to speak at the panel connected to the United States mission to the United Nations alongside faith leaders and United States officials. Now, Nicki later said that she was tired of being pushed around and that speaking your mind has become controversial because people are no longer using their minds. Now, Erica Kirk praised her for being courageous despite backlash from the entertainment industry. And Nicki's response to her was, "I didn't notice. We don't even think about them." Then she added that her and Erica Kirk in the Republican Party are the cool kids. And that statement right there pissed a lot of people off, okay? Because behind the scenes, support was already slipping. People were confused. What the hell is going on? Now, reports started circulating that Nicki lost millions of Instagram followers, including longtime fans who felt alienated by the sudden political shift. Eventually, Nicki had shut her Instagram down entirely, which only added fuel to the fire. All right. Now, the crazy thing is, it turns out that Charlie Kirk himself, even while he was alive, had previously criticized Nicki Minaj's artistry and influence, calling her a bad role model and openly mocking her name. So for many fans, seeing Nicki Minaj align herself with his movement and praising his wife and completely turning her back on her past opposition to Trump back in 2018 felt very confusing to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? On top of some internet beef with Cardi B, Jay-Z, and the Carter family. She even went after SZA at one point in time. I mean, she's just losing it. You know what I mean? She's losing it, absolutely losing it. So, with all this going on, online chatter turned into a petition calling for Nicki Minaj to be deported back to Trinidad. Okay. The petition accuses her of spiraling, harassing the Carter family, defending her husband Kenneth Petty, who is currently a registered SO offender, and frames her influence as a public safety issue, or the influence that she has left, because she doesn't have that much influence. They even tagged her federal agencies like ICE and the FBI, plus random government officials, none of whom have acknowledged the petition at all. All right. Now, if we keeping it all the way 100, there's no real path where Nicki Minaj gets deported because people don't like her political views or personal choices. That's not how immigration law works. This petition is a symbolic outrage. You know what I mean? It's not like a real threat, right? So it does gauge how people feel about her currently, even her own fans. So it's some people are saying that it's like a self-sabotage. And I'm gonna be a little bit responsible. Is she spiraling up here? Is she, can't nobody diagnose someone that they don't know. I'm not but it's like, it seems a little off-brand for Nicki, man, for her to just flip like that. I don't know, man. I mean, some people see just a sudden shift. It's just kind of crazy, man. I don't know. I'm not really sure, man. She's wealthy. She's very accomplished. Her legacy is secure. She's an amazing MC. She's done a lot of things in the music industry, as far as a female artist and rapper. And I don't know, man. It seems like she's just burning everything down on purpose. Like, what's going on? But I don't know, y'all. Let me know in the comment section below. That's it for the Backstage Hype, y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.